What's up, everybody, and welcome to the inaugural edition of the Stand Up Guys podcast, the premiere episode, if you will. I am your host, the incomparable Zach Jones, alongside my brother from the same mother, Lester Jones.
Hi, I'm Lester.
Wow, that's the catchphrase you went with. It's just, hi, I'm Lester. All right, and rounding out the panel, my brother from a very different mother, AJ Singh.
Hey everybody, this is AJ. Good to be here.
Although, maybe not a different mother. Maybe we got a milkman situation going on.
Because a different father.
You know, Ron?
What are you talking about?
No, here's my theory. Because,
Transdimensional vaginas?
well, we were born in the same year, right? I was born in late January. What, you like November? November. So here's my theory.
You were too white, so they sent you off?
Well, it could be. No, here's
Not the first time.
Here's my theory is because, so it's the 80s. There's no, paternity leave back then. So mom's, at home, lonely with these three kids while dad's slaving away. And then here comes his dad as his secret life as an interstate milkman.
Interstate, yeah.
And he comes up to the house. He's like, milk, or however as he talks.
Wow.
We
need to work on that. That's still a different father, not a different mother.
Wait. Hold on. So, they get to talking, and they hit it off, and he's like, hey, I got something that's 8 pounds, 6 ounces that can fill that void.
Oh, wow.
Man, you've been thinking about this.
And then about 9 months later, AJ comes along. So, there you go.
She got rid of me because I was brown. That's what it was.
That makes sense because of the Montana stuff. It's like, we'll give him a better life.
Do you guys ever wonder the whole milkman profession? That's just a profession that went away completely. And if you watch those old movies and TV shows from the 50s, they all love the milkman. It's like, oh, here comes Mike the milkman. He's a part of the family, But do you think the country really loved the milkmen as much as in those movies, or do you think that was just a put on?
Yeah, they were never shady as fuck, which I think would be a good character.
Shady milkman.
The shady milkman.
Switching out the milk. Saving money. Cutting corners.
But maybe they did love the milkmen that much, and that the whole country just went through a depression after the milkmen were gone.
Why'd they go away? I don't know.
Well, it's just different refrigeration practices.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Okay.
Who's oh, thank God, warm milk on my doorstep.
Yeah.
What could go wrong with this?
Maybe they really got scared of the milkman and their wives. Maybe that was a real thing.
That could be. But then, then you still got the mailman.
Yeah, that guy's up to something.
I'm the milkman. I made it myself.
All the milkmen just became mailmen so they could just keep coming over.
So for anybody listening that's made it this far, you're probably wondering why. What is this show? And basically, we don't know, but it's it's a conversational show where we figure each week we'll bring a topic of conversation to the table, each of us, and we'll try to make something funny, or if not funny, at least entertaining out of it. I figure, today I think we all kind of got mystery topics to talk about, but if we ever want to maybe have one that takes a little more preparation, like maybe a list type episode or something, we'll let the other people know ahead of time. But before we get into the meat of the episode, we'll just go around and see if anybody has any stories from the week, anything that happened, anything. Because I got one for you guys. I've been kind of telling you about. But anything from you guys? Anything of note happened this week that you want to talk about?
No, it's just hot. Very, very hot.
It is. It is hot. Yeah. And for those listening, like we're in a room with no AC. We got the window closed. Keep out the sound. So it's a bit toasty in here, but
it's a bit sweaty balls in here.
We'll persevere.
All right. So story time. So, and this is odd because I live, as you guys know, a pretty boring life. Like COVID and everything with the. Like, I worked through the whole thing, but, like, even if I didn't, like, the whole quarantine situation wouldn't have bothered me because I've self-quarantined myself my whole life pretty much. But anyway, so I do have a story from, this was probably about a couple weeks ago. I'm walking to work. It's the morning. It's probably a little after 8 o'clock or so. And just down the road here, I passed by a cemetery. And basically two sides of it, because I walk past the one side and then I turn the corner and have to walk past the other end. And like the first side you walk past, it's very open where you can basically look and you can see the whole cemetery, right? But that day I'm not really paying that much attention. And as you get towards the corner, you can't really see inwards because they got this like concrete part up because they have, like one of those things where they bury the people like above ground right there. Or I don't know, maybe they just have the ashes. I don't know, but they have like the memorial plates and everything. So you can't really see what's in there right at that point. So then you turn the corner. And like right as you turn the corner, there's an entry gate where you can go into the cemetery. But then right after that, there's a fence. And you can't really see in there from this other side because there's these tall hedges that grow. Right? So I can't really see in there. But as you go down, there's a small gap in between the hedges where you can see in. And the reason I know that is because when I get to that gap, this woman out of nowhere yells, "Bang!" like super loud. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I look over and I basically just have like this what the fuck look on my face. And this woman is looking at me through this gap and with a smile on her face, like as to say, "Hey, I got you. I scared you." And I'm like, what the fuck? And here's the thing. Like, she's not like right at the fence line. She's probably about 10, 15 feet back. But like, and here's the thing. This is Portland. So there are homeless people around. And I've encountered some of those on my journeys as well. But here's the thing. And this is why I want you guys to read on this. I do not think this woman was homeless. She did not look homeless. She was not dirty. She looked clean. I think this was just a weird woman that saw a stranger and was like, you know what? I'm going to try to scare the shit out of this guy just randomly.
I mean, she could be future homeless,
Yeah.
Getting ready to be homeless.
like
getting her mindset.
Getting the leg work done, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm almost ready.
Here's the thing. I wish you could have seen this woman because she just looked like a suburban mom. Like, she looked like a normal-ass woman. But, like, I'm like, is this woman, like, is she part of doing one of those Fight Club missions where she tries to antagonize random people? This was so fucking strange. And so, like, yeah, she does that. And, like, I don't like jump back all animated, but it does like definitely startle me and get my like heart rate up. But I look at her, I just give her this like, what the fuck kind of look. But then at the same time, I'm like, well, maybe this woman is homeless or something. So I just, head down. I'm like, don't engage. And I keep walking. But yeah, how fucking strange is this? Why, like this random woman just like trying to scare me.
Maybe she really thought you were somebody else, and then when she realized you weren't, she was like, "Oh, gonna stick with it." Just gonna look at him. And...
That's kind of what I was thinking. It's like nobody's walking by here at 5 a.m, and then you're like, "Boo!" and then you're like, "Oh shit!"
Well, scare somebody. I'm just gonna stare at you now.
But at the same
just
time,
smile.
at the same time, like I'm like. When did she see me? Did she see me like clear on the first end, like walking through? Or did she just happen to see me in like that narrow slit where the gate is after I round the corner? I don't know. It was so weird though. Like I would just, the whole rest of the walking to work, I was just like, what just happened?
Yeah.
That was
befuddled.
At the cemetery. Yeah, that would be a little frightening.
So weird.
Man, so you guys know I'm in the security and like I deal with homeless people quite a bit, and it's just like a place where you run into some crazy ass shit. And thankfully this one didn't happen to me, but it happened to my coworker. I think I told Zach, I don't know if I told you this story, but I work with this one guy. He's probably like 300 pounds. He's kind of short, and he's got this really kind of like goofy kind of kind of personality. And so they have him on video, and he's sitting and working the desk, and this black transient comes in, and across from the desk there's like one of these hand sanitizing stations with the foam. And the guy walks up there, and he takes it, and he starts foaming like he's cleaning his face and stuff with it. And you can see the guy, he's picking up the phone, he's calling like like a bike patrol or foot patrol to come and assist. And then like the guy takes his shirt off, and he's like rubbing this hand sanitizer all over his body and his armpits, and then like the next thing he just pulls his pants off, he's down there buck naked, he's fucking soaping up his business and everything like right in front of this guy. And you see him like kind of like, he's like I said, he's big, so he gets up and he's kind of like waddling away really fast. And then the guy, he's getting buck naked up on the desk and shit. Ooh. And I was like, and somehow he's still like, he disappeared before the police got there or anything. And so like 2 weeks after that, like I was reading, like we keep the police Twitter going, and like there's a hotel maybe quarter mile away, same exact incident to them.
That was really clean, I guess. Well,
So this is like his thing, is like stripping down in lobbies.
Lathering up with hand sanitizer.
Yeah. Like it was an interesting situation.
And what's the point of cleaning yourself up if you can't clean your clothes? You're just gonna get dirty again anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you just cleaned your balls, and now you have to go put on sweaty undies again?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not fucking working.
Yeah. Clean the clothes first.
At least bring like a knapsack of fucking... trade it out. Well, the thing is, I think he took off without taking all of his clothes with him even. Like, yeah.
Oh, if you're homeless, you need all the clothes you can get. That's a bad situation right there.
Yeah.
You would think so. Like if you're homeless, aren't clothes like one of your number one priority?
I mean, I'm kind of surprised he didn't come in with a better game plan. like how hadn't you thought this out any better?
Although you never know, he might like have a tent somewhere that's just like so full of clothes. He's like, I can stand to lose a few of these.
Yeah, all I've got is clothes. No home, but a bunch of clothes.
You can always get clothes.
All right, should we get into the meat of this podcast?
Yeah, anyone got something they want to talk about? No.
Who wants to go first?
I've got some random topics.
Okay.
That are interesting, I think.
Hot topics.
Just, yeah.
All right. So I read about this. Because of COVID-19, they're broadcasting screams in Iceland right now. They're trying to be therapeutic and help with mental health. So they're actually like getting people to record screams, and they're broadcasting it in like caves and landscapes and beautiful places. And apparently that's supposed to be therapeutic. And I was wondering, what do you guys think about that? What's the point of that?
I mean, I've heard of therapeutic screaming, but I haven't heard of just like taping it and like harassing other people with it.
Yeah, right.
Like when I'm out in the woods, I don't want to fucking, wake up from my freaking sleeping bag to someone's like, ah!
If I saved up my whole life to go to Iceland and then all I heard was screams and stuff like that when I went to their beautiful landscapes, I'd be like, this is horrible.
This is a nightmare.
Yeah.
No, wait. So are they saying it's not just like therapeutic for the people to scream, but it's supposed to be therapeutic to listen to them scream?
That's my understanding, right? That, having these screams broadcast helps people, I guess, relate and scream themselves or whatever in those environments.
This just seems like a trend you would start if you wanted to get away with murdering people.
That's true, yeah. Hey, why don't we go check out those screams? Yeah, come closer.
This guy next door, he's really putting me at ease. I mean,
Sally just broke up with her boyfriend. I guess she's getting it out.
I mean, like, couldn't you just like listen to a Yoko Ono record or something?
Yeah, there you go. I saw a great clip where I think it was John Lennon was singing with like James Brown or something, and then Yoko was doing her like screaming singing in the background. And like whoever had the mixer just shut her off. So they're sitting there singing, she's in the background just screaming, and you can't hear anything.
That's the way to do it. But yeah, that is a weird story. Like, yeah. I don't really understand that.
Yeah, it was done by like the tourism department too. So I guess they're trying to get people to like they post the screams like in those locations, and they show a video to the person who sent the scream of their scream being broadcast in that area. So I guess it's like, hey, you know, if you ever do decide to come to Iceland, you're already kind of a part of it. You've screamed here. So I don't know. It seems strange.
Yeah, it's just like a modern art installation that you don't want to go to or accidentally witness.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it really is. Like, I mean, I could see like if there was a place with like a really good echo, why you maybe would want to go scream there just to hear it reverberate.
Yeah, you have one good scream and you're like,
yeah,
oh, that was cool.
But you don't make a meal out of it. You
you don't put it on loop for everyone to enjoy.
Yeah. It's some of the things like people say they do for like, you know, relaxation and stuff or like therapy just seem weird. I don't know, but all right, yeah, and that was an interesting topic. Anything?
Well, so I don't know. This has been kind of just brewing a little bit because I don't really watch news or TV, but we were talking about the election and how it's brewing up to be another gigantic shit fest. And Zach was telling me how Biden's this gaffe machine, and I know he kind of has that reputation, but like I haven't been watching the news. I don't know what the fuck he's saying. And so today I pulled up some like YouTube clips. It's just like, oh, here's 20 minutes of him saying like random fucked up shit. And it's a very kind of weird patterns. But he has like a couple big ones where he's like, I like kids sitting on my lap. And like, just like shit where you're like you had to know this wasn't like the right thing to say. But he also does this one really common one where it's like, he needs to make a point and he starts and he's kind of like, it's like, you see, and then this and this and this, la 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 la. And it goes on. And then like at the end, he's just like, international money, and you don't, by that point you don't even remember what the question was. You don't know what he was trying to get to, and you know he didn't get there.
yeah but he made sure you forgot the question too by that point.
Right. by the end you're that guy that judges the contest in Billy Madison.
It's exactly like that. It's like, and now you're all stupider for listening.
No, I haven't heard of anything. Like they've been very quiet in these campaigns, right? I haven't heard.
That's another thing. I mean,
much.
for being
Trump, anybody.
like July, there's not been anything.
I know. Well, I think COVID is just like so
part of it.
Dominated the news cycle that people are like, and also I think people are just to the point where they don't really care because it's like they realize that they're not enthusiastic about the candidates, and they're just, you know, more interested in COVID and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. You can't get the big groups together. But I mean, at some point they have to figure out some kind of strategy. So I mean, I don't know what that's going to look like.
Well, I think the strategy for the Biden team is to basically, you know, keep him off camera as much as possible, except for like, you know, Twitter and YouTube videos that are highly produced where he's not saying something insane.
Right. So you actually have some kind of like logical A to B.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's a good strategy.
I think it is, to be honest, because I think he does have some sort of cognitive decline issue. He misspeaks a lot. I will say I am interested to see the debates between him and Trump, because I think those are going to be a train wreck.
That would be amazing to see a Trump Biden debate.
Yeah, because
it'd be two old guys just not talking about anything.
It will be, yeah.
Well, that's another thing I saw like a few times with Biden. Is like if someone attacks him, he will like come back at them. And you know Trump never backs down from anything, no matter how retarded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's going to be, it might be interesting.
Trump and Biden would be hilarious.
I mean, we'll see it, I'm sure.
Are there going to be debates? Because I don't know.
Well, they won't be in front of a crowd, but I think they have to do
like
them.
The town hall format or something.
Yeah. I think they'll have to. And that actually might be better because I think the crowds of those things are just distracting anyways.
Yeah.
I think it'd be better to have those without the crowd to begin with. But yeah, I can't imagine them not having some sort of series of debates. I think they would have to.
I mean, I think a format I would like is if there were like just open questions on the internet and like every candidate just post like a 5-minute video or something, or some kind of response to those.
Yeah, but then it's not from them, that it's from their team of writers.
I mean,
So it has to be live to an extent, I think.
it depends because even if you look at Obama, who's an exceptional speaker, it still was written, but he could put it out there, and he didn't go off script all crazy and shit.
I always did think, and they wouldn't do this because of ratings, but like in those primary debates where they had so many people on stage, I almost think it would be a good idea to mute like basically everybody's mic except for the person talking, because it gets to an interruption.
That's part of their ratings thing, is just open fighting and being stupid.
Yeah.
If you just watch the news alone, that's what they do. Like, they have a bunch of people on and they all yell over each other.
Yeah, and I'm like you guys, I haven't watched regular news in so long because you just get tired of it, and you start to see through it, and you start to see the bullshit. And I prefer just to find somebody online that I like to listen to that just is usually either them or maybe them and one guest, like, Joe Rogan or, somebody like that.
Yeah, to some extent, I think that is good, and if you can pick like one source you trust instead of just listening to what they're actually saying because they're just full of crap. Oh, no, I'm doing a Biden. Like I had a point, but I really got lost somewhere.
All right, you're feeding us some Biden.
Got a little mental cognition thing.
Do you got a story about corn pop?
Children like to rub my leg hairs. Jesus.
Yeah, he does say interesting things. And he is from an older time. Like, he always uses the word malarkey and things like that.
Yeah.
But like, boy, I don't know. Like, it's interesting to hear him talk.
But are you down on Biden because you supported somebody else?
I think I've really over the last couple of years came to the conclusion that I can't really get excited by anybody that's really backed heavily by corporate donors.
Yeah.
Like, like definitely I'll take Biden over Trump. But the fact that I know that at the end of the day, they're beholden to, a bunch of corporations, it just doesn't do much for me.
Yeah.
And it's like, even with Bernie, like, yeah, I don't agree with, like, Bernie definitely is to the left of me on certain things, but he as a candidate would have excited me much more than Biden.
Yeah, I know people who feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
They're not enthusiastic about Biden at all, but they supported Bernie the whole way, and now it's kind of like, I guess they have to support Biden.
Yeah, I don't know about numbers, but Bernie supporters are definitely more passionate.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. It seems that way to me. And I will say, definitely this election and the last election, I didn't notice like how much the DNC themselves try to fight off more progressive candidates. Like what they did to Bernie in both elections, really, you're like, oh wow, there's a huge bias in here.
Yeah.
And, even organizations like news outlets like MSNBC that you just think, oh, they're the leftist news network. And they are, but even they don't really want to support a more progressive candidate like Bernie. They're definitely, more supportive of a middle of the road like Biden. So yeah, it's interesting. It was definitely kind of eye-opening these last couple elections to see that division,
Yeah, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, I think she was the one who kind of had those internal emails and stuff saying support Hillary, or she was kind of going out of her way to support Hillary, go against Bernie. And then I think she got in trouble, but it didn't change anything. It seems like they still were harder on Bernie, and they just didn't really support his view.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Well, I got a topic too. I don't know how long we're going to go here, but so my topic is things we used to say when we were younger that we either don't say anymore or we say differently. And so I have kind of an innocent example and then some more, I guess, controversial examples. So just like an innocent example is like when I was a kid, I would always say pop instead of soda. Like just always, that's what we called it. And but then like somewhere along the way, like when I became older, I was like, oh, you know what, that does sound like kind of weird, so I did change to calling it soda. Do you guys have like an example like that of like?
I say just like pop culture stuff, like, oh, that's legit, and
Oh,
stuff
okay.
like that.
Okay.
But I don't say those anymore. Now that I'm much older.
I feel like I'll still bust out legit every.
That's ratchet, kids.
But okay, so the more serious example, and this is going to sound terrible because it's literally the worst, but when it comes to the N word, you know, really the only time I said it in my life was when I was super duper young, like probably under 10 years old. And the reason was because where we're from, and I don't know if this is the case like everywhere in the country, because I heard somebody once say this is a Southern thing, but it's definitely a Montana thing too, I can tell you that, which is there's these really racist, I guess, colloquialisms you call them, where like, you know, ravens aren't ravens, they're N-word chickens.
Oh,
And Brazil nuts aren't Brazil nuts, they're N-word toes, and things like that. And my dad, I mean, he uses these things all the time. And so as a kid, I would just, you know, parrot those phrases because I had no idea. And then, you know, I don't know, when I was a little older, like probably, you know, middle school, high school, and I found out, oh, well, no, probably middle school, where I was like, oh, that's a bad word. You know, I just stopped using it, and I really haven't used it since. And then, but the one, I will say the other thing that I used to say as a kid that I try not to now, but even once in a blue moon, I'll catch myself doing it, is when I was a kid, the use of gay as a pejorative, like, oh, this is so gay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. You see that movie that was gay? Just all the time, gay. And like, this is why I'm kind of glad that I never had, you know, any sort of, you know, Twitter account or anything when I was young, because it would have been filled with that. And then, you know, as I got older and I kind of heard people's arguments of, you know, why you shouldn't do that, I'm like, you know what? I can, that's one that I can kind of respect. But like every once in a while, like something will happen and I'll be like, oh, this is so, and I'll kind of catch myself doing it again. And I'll be like, God damn it. Like, why is this like so ingrained?
Yeah.
You know, do you guys ever do that?
Yeah, I used to say the exact same thing all the times. I think that was pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't even know if I meant it as a gay, but I definitely said that as like, you know, be like, oh, I didn't mean gay, I meant retarded. And you're like, oh, I didn't mean retarded, no, I didn't mean handicapped. What the fuck does that mean? But there's all these words. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely like horrifying that, like, you know, because when you're little, you are so, like, you just soak crap up and you have like no perspective.
Yeah.
And, you know, luckily we go to public schools and they can kind of like turn you in a different direction where you're like decent human being. But yeah, thinking back at some of that is really like just horrifying. It's like, oh God, this is terrible.
It is.
Yeah. Think back, and I've said some things, you know, that I would definitely not say again. Learn my lesson.
Well, and my whole thing is like, you know, especially like, you know, I tend to side with comedians where like, you know, intent really is everything. Like, and I don't like, you know, I think we're all, you know, at least socially, left of center. You know, you
socially, yes.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely, like, as far as like economics and taxation, you definitely have like a more libertarian bend. Whereas, you know, me and AJ probably have kind of, you know, more of a progressive bent. But I think on issues of free speech and, you know, things like that, we're very left of center.
Well, I mean, libertarians are way out there, man.
Yeah.
They're the freest of speech and the most equal of...
So I don't want people to come across as thinking that I'm some sort of like, you know, word police guy. You know, my whole thing is about, when I thought about the whole gay thing is, you know, you also said the word retarded. And I feel like for me, retarded is a little bit different because even when I was younger and I said it more, I've never ever said that word with the intent to slight somebody with developmental disabilities.
Well, yeah, I mean, it doesn't have... it's not as stigmatized, but like people with mental handicaps, they do find it very offensive. And that's kind of where I've drawn the line. If I'm like, you know what, if someone out there is very offended by this, I think people are too offended by things today, but if someone out there is very offended by it, it's not going to take me that much to just avoid it and be like, you're a moron. That can go to anybody.
Right.
You're a fucking moron.
All the
Right.
poor morons, you're
Yeah.
offending them.
Yeah. I'll be like, I'm offended by becoming a moron.
I'm a moron.
Yeah, well, you're a fucking shitbird. I don't know.
Whereas, like, with the intent thing, like, when I was younger and, like, the whole gay thing, like, I didn't know anybody gay, so it was also, like, when I was younger, not necessarily my intent to, slight gay people either, but I did feel like at the same time it was, because I remember, like, when we were kids, like, especially, like, mom and dad, like, I wouldn't say like they're hateful against anybody, but they are, just from the time period, and being older. I would say they always thought of gay people as weird. Like, they weren't hateful against, but they always just thought, oh, there's something off about these people.
Yeah.
They're, and so, like, when gay people are kind of brought up the fact that, hey, always using gay as a pejorative, what are you really doing? And to me it always did seem like, well, maybe I am saying it because in my mind that's always been like, oh, this is something weird, it's okay to kind of bag on it. Whereas, like, I was mentioning the word retard, like, never in my wildest dreams saying that word was I like, oh, I'm slighting people with mental handicaps or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, gay's not a bad word. They're gay, but
Right.
It's
It's all in how it's used. Yeah.
And for me, gay had like so many different meanings. Like, when I used it, it would mean like lame or something like that.
That's
like,
another thing, is like a billion meanings to words.
Yeah.
So, I mean, unless you're directly attacking someone, it's probably not.
Well, I mean, yeah, even if you use like the word gay to mean lame, though, do you think that in and of itself is bad? If you're equating gay with...
I mean, like,
Yeah.
99% of the time, I mean, yeah, I think blame is, I don't know. I don't really see an issue.
Okay. But, well,
But I
it's
mean,
just,
I could see a correlation there, but...
yeah, well, it's like, just like you said, where, like, when you found out that, some mentally handicapped people are offended by the word retard, like, you're like, okay, then I'll try my best not to do it. I kind of feel the same way
Yeah.
about, whereas, like,
I mean, it's a strange thing, too, because even, like, a lot of gay people aren't offended by being called gay.
that's true.
Well,
I mean, I don't think any gay
I mean,
people
there's a certain subclass of people who are super triggered, and they're always looking for something.
But there's probably many gay people that aren't offended by someone necessarily using the word gay to mean other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, when I know my intent isn't bad, like, I guess that's the most important thing. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I got a topic. Have you guys ever held a really, really bad grudge over something that somebody's done to the company you've worked for? Like, just if somebody badmouthed it or whatever, like, have you gotten upset about that?
I feel like I just get passive aggressive and, like, depressed for a short period of time, and then, like, I move on.
Yeah. Well, not for these eBay employees. So apparently there was a couple that wrote a blog, and they were bad-mouthing eBay. And there were some comments on the blog that the eBay employees felt like this couple might have made up or something, and they were commenting on their own stuff. And
I would hold the mic a little bit closer.
Okay.
There we go.
And they were saying, there were comments on the blog that were saying negative things about eBay, and the employees were not happy about it. So what they did was they started harassing the couple. They sent them a mask of a pig. They sent them spiders, fly larvae, live cockroaches, and a book about surviving the death of a spouse. They also sent shipments of pornography with one of the publishers' names on it to their neighbors.
I thought about that because, like, some of these things have, like, mailing lists.
Yeah.
And be like, I know your email, motherfucker. You're getting gay weekly for the rest of your life.
Yeah, they sent stuff. Let me see. So they also the
Played right into
employees
their hands.
the employees pretended
Thank you.
to go to a software development conference, But instead, they tailed the couple's car, and they wanted to put a tracking device on it.
Jeez.
But they didn't do that. I guess they couldn't. I'm not sure. They created a Twitter account to harass the couple, and they published their home address. I think that's called doxing. And they posted Craigslist ads for a week-long block party at the publisher's house. Another Craigslist ad for singles, threesomes, BDSM, and cross-dressing. And a third ad for an estate sale where everything must go at their house.
That's like a full-time job, man.
Yeah, that's like
I don't have the energy.
That is too much. Like, who goes through all that just because somebody offended where you work?
these guys should open up like a dirty work style business because
They had some ideas in there.
I know, like
There were
it's almost impressive.
6 people involved in this whole operation.
Live cockroaches, though. That's a fun one.
I mean, you gotta be pretty determined to go through all that just to get somebody.
Like I feel like you could do a lot with live cockroaches.
Yeah.
You know.
So wait, in this story, like the people were more upset with somebody that like slandered where they worked rather than like bosses that they used to work for or something like that.
No, I mean, so they were higher ups themselves at eBay, and I think they were mostly in like security and intelligence.
Okay.
And they read a blog that was bad mouthing eBay, and they went after those people.
On a personal level.
Yeah.
Jeez. I mean, holding grudges, like, I mean, like, I don't know, like, I guess I've held grudges against individual, people, but not like businesses or, whatever.
Well, I've done some reading on like narcissistic personality disorder, and certain people with this disorder, this is like a thing with them. Like, if you cross their path once, like they never quit, they never turn around, they never back down, they just full force against you for the rest of their life. And it's kind of like the Tiger. Was it Tiger King?
Oh yeah, Tiger King guy.
Yeah, what was his name? Joe.
Exotic
Joe.
Joe Exotic.
Joe Exotic. Yeah. And it's just like once you've done it, man, it's like they're gonna be fucking crazy the rest of your fucking life, man.
Yeah, because they were like showing that clip of his own show he had going, and like every show he was like, "Here's what Carol Baskins is up to, that bitch." Or
yeah, well, he did that show like every single fucking day.
Yeah,
that's what they're like.
I bet Trump's that way.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, you see him on Twitter doing that.
Yeah.
Like, he's probably still bad mouthing Rosie O'Donnell.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
that was like
that was a long ongoing one.
I know. Yeah, like he can't drop it. Yeah, he definitely strikes me as someone who just can't let anything go. If you slide him in, any way, you're gonna be on a shit list forever, and he's just gonna keep bringing it up.
Yeah, the main thing now is that he's got so many people he's doing it to. He's like, he has to distribute it more.
Yeah.
It's not all against one person.
Spraying it everywhere.
Just throw the shit in every direction.
He's going after his niece right now, I think.
Oh yeah, because she did that book on him.
That hasn't even came out yet, right? Or has it?
I've heard like excerpts from it, but I don't know if it's actually come out or not.
Mm.
But I know in one part he told his niece that she was stacked.
Oh, Jesus
oh
Christ.
my gosh.
That's something another thing that Trump and Biden have together is like Trump remember when he made that weird statement about like if Ivanka wasn't his daughter, he'd hate her or whatever.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
Yeah, Biden's got all these like gifs of him like awkwardly touching people and them like cringing.
Oh yeah, I like seen a supercut of that like one day where just like him like touching women and they'd be kind of like cringing.
I think he did something like that to Hillary.
She seems like she'd cringe away from most people.
Yeah.
She doesn't like people. That's my impression.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the thing about Hillary is she always came across like that, like smile to the crowd, but then like
very cold personality.
Yeah, that didn't work for her.
And I mean, to be fair, like I definitely get that reading, and I feel very like negative about her. I guess her body language, but at the same time, maybe it's just part of her personality. I mean, I don't know, but it doesn't come over well.
No, I mean, I think that's one of the reasons she did very poorly well, I guess I can't say she did poorly when she won the popular vote, but she comes across as so disingenuous, and you can pick it up. You know, anytime she's, you know, trying to be smiley or whatever, or, you know, come off as affable, you don't buy it.
Yeah, it never seems genuine.
Yeah.
Well, Biden's the opposite. Like he seems like a golden retriever, you know, just happy, go lucky.
Yeah, he's like a likable grandpa character.
Yeah.
But then there's just like some weirdness in there that's piling up.
He's your grandpa at Thanksgiving that says stuff.
Yeah, that your mom tells you not to go around.
Yeah.
I would love to see if Biden and Trump really went head to head and really went at it, and then Trump lost. I would love to see how Trump takes that out. You know, like what would he would definitely go to Twitter. He'd definitely say things like, "Oh, he's doing a terrible job," this and that.
Oh yeah, for sure, he would do that.
But I mean, Trump doesn't seem like the kind of person who likes to lose. So I wonder how.
I would think that's like the only thing that's keeping him there is like, you know, he doesn't want that face of losing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Well, and you know, even if he loses, he's going to claim, "Oh, it was rigged. Something happened here. Something happened here. You know, it wasn't a fair election." And all of his followers will agree with that no matter what.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's true. They'll do that. He was already doing that last election, so why wouldn't he do it again?
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing about the narcissist thing is he would never admit that he was wrong or, you know, lost something. He couldn't do it. It's not.
Yeah, he was cheated.
Yeah.
It's not in him to do that.
Be like, even since like 8 years ago, they've been showing the Russians have been rigging elections in this country. Well, I don't know if you guys got more. I don't really have much more.
Let's see. Let's see if we can go for another 20 minutes. You got any more topics there, AJ? I would have brought more, but I didn't. I guess I thought some of these would last longer.
Yeah. Well, we are in the age of social media. People do crazy things for likes, and one guy in Louisiana, he promised his followers, or I guess people on TikTok, I don't know if they're followers or just people who saw his video, but he promised them that if he got 2,000 likes, he would jump into a fish tank. So that's what he did. He went to Bass Pro Shop and jumped into their giant fish tank, and another customer heard like a splash, and they went over there and made a video of it. This guy swims around with the fishes, jumps out, and runs out of the store. Gets arrested later on. But yeah, I mean, he got 2,000 likes, so he did it. And he got way more than 2,000 likes, but he said if he got 2,000 likes, he would do that. So,
well, at least he was a man of his word, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you got to do it, right?
But yeah, committing a crime on social media is like, there's no way it's not going to bite you in the ass.
The only thing I would like better is if like the person that videoed him got like many more likes than he did.
Right. they get like 3.4 million views.
It goes viral. He's like, son of a bitch.
And all I got was arrested.
Oh man, it would have been, I don't know, it would have been funny if like they had like some eel or something in there that he wasn't
right, something that fucks him up.
Yeah.
Or at least like a security guard chasing him out of the store, but nobody did anything. He just kind of ran out of the store on his own.
He ends up getting electrocuted or something.
Yeah. No one's chasing him. He just slips and fucking dies.
Oh yeah, he just drowns in there. Some little kid comes along and finds his dead body.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, people do crazy stuff for like internet attention.
Yeah, they do.
I've always kind of wondered, like, what are the odds of like just finding a dead person?
Yeah, I mean,
or someone just like dying in front of you, or something horrible.
That's true.
I mean, I don't know. Depends on where you live too, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I've seen like a couple like car crashes, but nobody was.
That's what came to mind for me is like, I did see like actually in Houston a bad car wreck, and I was like, it's one of those things where you're like, did that guy just die? You have no idea. But
yeah, sometimes you see like a car like compacted on the other side of the room, and you're like, ooh, that doesn't look good.
Yeah,
you don't know.
But yeah, I mean, it could happen at any time. Somebody has a could have a heart attack or a brain aneurysm or whatever.
Well, that goofy guy I was telling you about that I work with, like he said he saw somebody like jump off a building.
Oh, geez.
Just by happenstance, basically.
Yeah, that's a weird one, definitely. Jeez.
But yeah. Oh, we can change the topic. It's getting dark in here. Everybody's getting all depressed. So anyway, this person's face was like splattered all over.
Oh man. All right, so I gotta ask you guys, what's the most? Because I already know the answer for myself, and it's bad. But what's the most embarrassing thing you've ever worn?
Worn?
Yeah.
Ooh.
There was a time when I was like probably in my 20s where I owned like all these kind of like flashy shirts, I guess, because I like thought it was cool or something.
Yeah.
But like, it'd be like 2, and people would be like, "Are you going to the club or something?" Like, just like a douchebag.
All right.
So that's got to be in there, yeah.
Well, when I was a kid, I mean, my fashion was terrible to begin with because, like, I would say, all the way grade school basically through probably middle school, or at least a great part of it. Like, I just dressed for comfort. So I would literally wear sweatpants and those like slip-on shoes because I'm just like, man, these are, comfortable. So I would just wear those all the time.
That's one of those things, like, you do certain things growing up, and then, like, when you're growing up, you like, blame your parents for it. Yeah, like, because I was, like, I was the same way, because we always had clothes, but it was always, like, jeans and, like, a shirt, and if you saw, like, some retarded piece of crap, like, at a thrift shop or something, you're like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Like, you'd be like, oh, you can have that. It's like, no, like, didn't our cousin, like, wear one of, like, some guy flashing people in a trench coat or something? It's like,
oh, yeah.
It's like, where do you even find this crap?
Yeah, I don't know where he got that, but yeah, when he was very young, he had this shirt that had like a guy that was like basically like I think it said like expose yourself to Montana, and then he's like into the forest, like in front of a mountain or something, like flashing a mountain.
That's right. Yeah. But then like didn't they get a call because he wore it to school or something?
I think maybe.
Yeah,
I think maybe.
But yeah, I look back at that and I was like, I mean, just buy some normal crap for your kids and be like, this is what you're gonna wear. It's like, it's not like you don't be hippies about it. Don't be like you can do what you want. You have a good handle on this.
Well, I'm going to counter both of you now with my story.
Okay.
My parents and my sister tried to talk me out of this. It was for Halloween. I was probably like 9 years old. And I wanted to go to the school Halloween function.
You went in whiteface, didn't you?
I went as a witch.
Okay.
As a witch. So that means that I wore the pointy hat and I wore my sister's skirt.
Nice. Nice. That's the kind of going for it I like to see.
Yeah. I went as a witch, and it didn't make any sense to me that witches were like a certain gender. They're women, but
it's Halloween.
Yeah, it was Halloween.
Fucking prudes.
But I remember even in like high school when I stopped wearing like the sweatpants and stuff, like I still didn't really care that much about like the shirts and stuff I would wear. And so like I remember mom would just buy me these random shirts that were so stupid. Like I remember there was one with a like a mummy on it, and it said "Crash Test Mummy." I was like,
it's like this shit was on sale, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because that's when she was working at the department store, and she was just like, "Oh, I found these on sale, and it was a great deal."
This was $2, and I had 30% off on top of that. Damn.
Oh man, yeah. So I definitely and like even like in middle school, I remember one time it was like it was back to school shopping, go pick out some shirts, and like I remember there was like some Looney Tunes ones that were like Looney Tunes but like sports teams, and like I didn't care about sports, but I'm like, okay, I like Bugs Bunny, so I'll get this shirt, stuff like that. But then people would be like, "Oh, you like the Orioles?" I'm like, "Fuck, no, I don't know what you're talking about."
To be fair, we're talking about this, but we've still both dressed this way.
Yeah, I'm wearing pajamas right now.
Well, nowadays,
Your taste in cartoons has gotten a little better. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, I mean, I still wear like cartoon character or comic book or nerdy type T-shirts, but they're all my taste, and so I'm not like ashamed to wear them or anything.
Yeah. No, I just got on like the Elon Musk, like Steve Jobs. I was like, fucking jeans and a T-shirt every day. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to fucking do anything. You look like a semi-normal human being.
Yeah, I mean, unless you have a job where you obviously can't do that, where you have to maybe wear slacks and a dress shirt or whatever. But yeah, jeans and a T-shirt, and then around the house, shorts and a T-shirt. But yeah, I definitely wore some stuff as a kid that was hideous.
Yeah.
So this kind of came up during the COVID-19 shopping spree that people went on. Is buying toilet paper embarrassing? Because I feel like it is.
Like, or are you trying to buy like a pallet?
Ton of toilet paper? Like,
Well, yeah, people are gonna
up.
be looking at you now, man. They're like, be giving you dirty stares and shit.
I mean, I feel like it's a little embarrassing if you were one of those people in the pandemic that had like a whole cart full of it but if you're just like, buying toilet paper like you normally do, no, I wouldn't be embarrassed by that. It's
just like, hey guys, I know this looks bad, but I have, loose butthole syndrome and it's a problem, okay?
It just falls right out.
It's not like I'm at the counter and like the woman's like, swiping the toilet paper across. I'm like, oh no, now she's gonna know that I shit.
My thing was like the prices were high for a while. Like I didn't want to buy any. I'd be like, I'll steal a roll from work, man.
Man, so one thing I guess this was just good timing, is that like before the pandemic broke out, like I was listening to another podcast and there was an advertisement on there for a bidet. And I was like, man, that's weird, because like, I don't know about you guys, but in my mind, and this is America, so like anybody in another country listening to this, like, is probably like, what the fuck is he talking about? But like, bidets are not widespread around here. So like when I heard him like talk about advertise a bidet on this podcast, I was like, well, I mean, what are we, royalty now? We're getting like normal people are using bidets? What the hell? But it made me curious, and I was like, okay, like I'm curious, like what the price of a bidet is, because like in my head I was like, oh, they got to be thousands of dollars or something, So I go on there and like the one they were advertising was like $90, but then I start looking at Amazon, and there's like much cheaper ones, like. And I was like, I didn't need one with all the like bells and whistles and all that. So
right, you just need like the one where you fill your mouth with water and you just have to
exactly
like $5 Home Depot.
Exactly. Build your own. But no, so I buy this one for like $40. We get it installed, works perfectly, and it's like so much better than toilet paper. Like so much. It's hard to explain. Like I never want to go back to.
Yeah, there's no going back, man.
You can't go back. Yeah. It's like you get so much cleaner. It's not so rough on your anus, and you just need just a little bit of toilet paper for the cleanup. You're not using nearly as much toilet paper as you normally would, and I'm just like, it's one of those things that was such a revelation to me that I was like, this was an option all along.
Yeah, no, you're right. There's no going back. Like if I go to somebody else's house and I have to go or something, I'm just like, I feel like what was that movie with Stallone? It's like the three seashells. I'm like, what? I gotta fucking wipe my hand with a handful of paper like a fucking animal. Like what the hell is this?
I know, it's, man, yeah, it's everybody out there, just if you haven't already, buy a bidet, and like people constructing new houses, just make it part of make it come standard.
Yeah, your butthole, thank you.
Yeah,
it really will.
Also, bathroom urinals to builders. Side note.
Oh, I mean, is it really much more convenient than just pissing in a toilet?
I mean, I just want to be like, I can just roll over and just like take my best shot, Go back to bed.
It would be convenient, I suppose. Yeah, like you wouldn't have to lift with the seat every time.
Right, just like a gym shower, but in your bedroom.
Well, I don't know if you're familiar with your son's work, but you don't have to lift the lid. You just piss right through the center,
Right.
and hope that everything goes to plan, even though it doesn't.
Well, that's where your skill level comes in.
He's got some work to do.
Well, you don't get better without trying. Yeah. I try to just leave it up. I think that's the best course of action.
I think as a kid, I did that a couple times myself.
I'm sure I did it till I was like 14 and mom was just fucking boiling every fucking day. Fucking ready to fucking shoot somebody.
I also know when I was a kid, I was really bad about using way too much toilet paper and clogging the toilet.
Yeah, kids don't have that perspective.
Yeah.
Your kids do that. One of your kids.
Well, I'm just glad he's wiping his own ass now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that seems like a good...
That's a good system.
a good skill for your kid to learn. But honestly, if I had a kid, I would definitely want a bidet too, because I don't want to
train him up on the bidet, man.
I mean, I don't want to. Well, also, I don't want to I'm really adverse to shit. I don't want to get close to it. And with a kid, if I could just set him there and run the old bidet through him,
I think most people are like that at the beginning, but after 4,000 diapers, you're like, well, here's another bag of shit.
You see,
you fucking go in the kitchen, the fucking garbage can's full of shit, and then the fucking dumpster. And
There's shit everywhere.
There's
It
just
falls
shit
out
everywhere.
Of the diapers onto the sofa.
so you say that, but no,
who left this diaper fucking in the refrigerator, and you're like, fuck, I don't know, I'm tired,
That's one thing that would never normalize with me, like you're saying. I would never get to the point where it's just another bag of shit. I'd be like, ugh. You know what I would do? I would want to install in my house, have, those things they have to handle plutonium, where they got the clear wall and then they got the gloves that go in through the wall. I want one of those with a changing table on the other side. All right. Well, guys, we're getting pretty close to the 1 hour mark. You guys got any thoughts? And anyone else listening out there, I don't know how you got this far, but I do appreciate it if you did. Real quick, guys, if you're not yet, we might have to fix this, but are you guys on Twitter?
No, but I can get on Twitter.
Yeah, it'd probably be a good idea. Now, I will...
His old Twitter feed is another talk.
Yeah, I had a nervous breakdown. Leave me alone.
There was some chemical imbalance stuff going on or something.
I was late to Twitter too. I just opened up an account, I don't know, maybe a year or two ago. But I basically just live within the walls of Twitter. I don't participate very much, but hopefully we will get an audience of people out there and they'll follow us and make Twitter a little more fun. But anyone out there, you can follow me at Zach Jones Live. That's ZachJonesLive. All right, guys. Well, if you guys don't have anything else to add, that will conclude this first ever edition of the Stand Up Guys podcast. We hope you guys had fun, and eventually, we should get probably an email address or maybe and you guys can send us some Twitter questions and all that fun stuff. Also, make sure to, of course, subscribe, leave us a positive review, all that good stuff. We would appreciate it. And with that, we will see you guys next week. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.